What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Cantina Hour. It is me, Matt, and we have some old friends with us tonight as we are going to be talking to the boys from Fugtive Poems. Christian and James are back with another special guest, and we're going to be talking about their newest Kickstarter that's getting ready to drop, or it's already out, I should say, River. If you know anything about the Fugtive Poems, folks, you know they're into some cool sci-fi, some really, really stellar artwork. Man, I promise you, this is one not to be missed. So go ahead. Great. Facebook doesn't want to stream. That's okay. No big deal. We'll figure that out in a second. And before I do that and figure out what's going on, because nothing ever wants to work properly when you are live, guys, I'm drinking, if we're talking sci-fi, action, killing, drugs, all that kind of stuff, what better way to go than tripping animals and the Deadpool edition of Maximum Effort, which Lauren has had before. It is a 6% sour that is conditioned with black cherry. It's got all sorts of good stuff in it, though. Aside from that, man, it is from Miami, Florida. Tripping Animals. Make sure you check them out. Lauren, I'm going to throw it to you real quick while I figure out what's happening with our wonderful streaming sites.
So I'm over here spilling beer. So I actually just opened a Three Floyds War Pigs collab called Interstellar Bonanza. It is a double IPA at 9%. So my stepdad and mom actually gave me this beer for my birthday mixed with some family business beer. And I got really excited when I haven't tried it yet. But for one, it kind of looks a little like you got some cool little like Galactus looking things. Like there's a lot of cool creatures on here. But also Three Floyds and War Pigs, I went to a brewery in Copenhagen that was called War Pigs, and it was a collab with Three Floyds. So I was like, well, this is really exciting. I haven't tried it yet, though, so I'm going to try it in just a minute. But yeah, we have Fugtive Poems on tonight. We've had them on before. We had them on like one of our first Cantina Hours. They joined us. So they're always a good time. Can't wait to talk that. We just recorded a Gambit comic book origin episode that will be dropping Monday. So we apparently can't stop talking about Deadpool and Wolverine as we had to keep going.
Of course, it's the best. It's the best. It really is. And let's shoot on over. If you guys are in the comments, go ahead, drop a comment in there, like, subscribe, share, all of that good jazz. But let's throw it over to our man who makes the artwork happen, James Lyons, everybody. James, what's up? Welcome back. Tell the folks what you're drinking and how's it been? Long time no talk.
Yeah, good to see you guys. I think I missed, was it the last one or one before that?
Yeah. One of the ones, but nonetheless, you're here now, and that's all that really matters.
So I'm drinking an older favorite, Dead Guy Ale by Rose.
Yes.
I'm sure I probably told you guys I lived out in Oregon for a while. This was very popular out there, and I'd actually been to their brewery out there. So good stuff.
It's a good, solid choice, man. It is a solid, really
percent alcohol. Real sort of full, robust taste. I really like it.
Nice.
Find them.
Well, let's throw it on over there to our friends hanging out in the shadows, Christian and Mark. What's up, boys? How's it going?
Hello. How you guys doing?
All good.
Oh, we are living out here. What are you guys up to? What are you guys drinking on? How is things since we last saw you, Christian?
Well, we're on a little bit of a Scotch night here. As you can see, we're actually together, and we're doing some he says Fittick, I say Fittich, but no 14 bourbon barrel Scotch, and our boys are having a sleepover. So we said, well, since I was driving them here anyway, we might as well just hang in person.
You might as well. I mean, why not? Like,
have you guys met Mark before?
I don't think we have. Arnie Stinson us for a second. Have you met Mark?
So this is Mark Capitelli, senior editor of Fugtive Poems. He has edited 3 out of 4 of the Containment Breach books. Done a great job. He also is a writer. He's a secret artist, but he doesn't talk about that. But he is an incredible writer and an absolutely amazing editor. And he's going to be the editor on our new series as well. And we're trying to get more people to know Mark, because more people should know Mark.
I mean, the editor position is just as important as, all the others, because the writer makes it work. Yes, the artist obviously makes the magic happen, but somebody's got to edit this whole thing and put it together and make sure it's nice and crisp to go. And you can't do that without the editor. And so just to finally put a face to that name. It's great. Mark, what one thing we like to do here is kind of dive into people's geek origin stories. So how did you get into the comic world? How did you become an editor of comic books? Tell us a little bit about that.
I guess it was inevitable. I was into comic books and anime back when it would get you beaten up. I was one of those, walked into Walden Books and there's Frank Miller's Dark Knight, and I was like, oh, what's this? And my whole life got changed. Graduated onto like Love and Rockets series and a lot of underground stuff, Cerberus, the Aardvark, things like that, or Cerebus. And and just kind of stumbled and bumbled my way around and found my way here.
That's great. So aside from, Fugitive Poems and some editorial stuff, what have you worked on comic book wise that's, maybe special, near and dear to you?
Well, I have some one-pagers with the Comic Jam. And so I got some things published there. I have one of those one-pagers is in our volume 3.
Yep.
And I have a story in volume 4. That's about it for right now, though. Everything else is not.
You were also published in that in the zine.
Yes.
Ooh, a zine?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's got some hip zine creds. Yeah, it's on the book out there. Mark and I have known each other since 4th grade.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys go back.
Oh, yeah. This is
way back. Okay.
You know him. Sorry.
So, yeah.
There we go.
So we were working on, James and I were working on Containment Breach Volume 2. And Mark and I went out to dinner, and I told him, I said, there are so many stories in here. I've been editing like crazy. And he's like, you remember I do that, right? Holy crap, you do. And Mark became a member of Fugitive Poems.
I
believe the exact line was, I should really get an editor.
I should really get an editor.
Of course.
How it all goes. We go way, way back. And this is he has joined the Brotherhood of Fugitive Poems.
Right on. And Fugitive Poems has launched a ton of good anthology series. And now we are in this world. We're going to be facing some wormholes, some black holes, maybe one multiplying asshole, if you will. There are 6 Pennsylvania cops hurtle through space and time on a mission. Only one of them kind of even understands. So why don't you guys dive into your latest Kickstart, which is River?
Absolutely. I'll get the ball rolling here. You just hit our taglines beautifully. Thank you.
There you go. Give him a solo.
So what happens here is that the 6 Pennsylvania cops and a big team show up at the aftermath of this drug war slaughter. And they're trying to figure out what the hell happened or how it happened. And they got another problem, which is that these kids all over Lancaster, Pennsylvania are ending up dead or in the hospital because there's some new drug on the street and no one can figure out what it is or what it does. They're either catatonic or they're mumbling about seeing things. And they think that the drugs came from this place. The problem is that there's in the middle of Pennsylvania Dutch country, and there's this huge futuristic compound that wasn't there before. Literally building that wasn't there before. They go inside, they find all this futuristic tech, and all hell breaks loose, including running into a venge-driven time god. Who is absurd in all the best ways. One of them, I think, the best villain we've ever come up with, our boy Ruiz in his multiple forms. And this is going to fling our heroes through time and space. This is the first chapter of it, and it is non-stop action. I think there are 2 pages where we see the world, and then from then on, they're running and gunning. And it's wild. The concepts are wild. And James... I wrote a page where I had a laser shear off someone's face. And it's cool for me because I can write whatever the hell I want.
You're like, this is great. What if I just make this happen? And James is like,
yeah,
dang,
I have no responsibility whatsoever for making it a reality. Like, it'd be cool, this absurd thing. And James comes up one day. He's like, hey, so check this out. And it was the most anatomically accurate thing I have ever seen, to the point where I didn't know how the sinuses go in the head. I'm like, is that why I always have a headache? All because of this incredibly beautiful, gory drawing. So that I've given you this story. It's on pre-launch right now on Kickstarter. And we want to get as many people on the pre-launch as possible so that our algorithm is way up. And you've heard the story. And James, I'll turn it over to you to talk about the style and the art.
So yeah, River's something that's been on our plate for a while. Started off as a single short story, and something that Christian put together. We had been working on a larger series, but we wanted to kind of take a step back and kind of learn as we go. So this was kind of back at the when we first started. We had this big epic tale that we were trying to do, and Christian actually met someone from Image Comics,
Marvel.
Marvel, sorry, and he got some advice that we should start putting out shorts and just getting our name out there and so forth. So we kind of took a step back and started working on smaller format stuff. A short in comic terms is something like 4 to 10 pages, something like that. Sort of like what we have in our Containment Breach series, except for our stories. So fast forward, we did have the first version of it, the first like 8 pages or so, which was the short story, up on our website for a while. But then we went and expanded it after everyone who read it kept saying, "Oh, well, what's next? What's next? We want to hear more about this story." So they were kind of captivated by the characters and so forth. And so Christian went and turned it into a longer series. So glad to say that this is actually our first project, our first Kickstarter where it's really just a one-off, and it's our story, and it's as proud of we are of the anthologies. This is going to be all us, so it's going to be an interesting, different adventure for us. And
that is very true. Actually, something you just brought up is we've never really. You guys have always done anthologies, so we've never really gotten a chance to see you guys, work your magic. What was that like for you?
I write constantly. I have series upon series written. I just discovered that I wrote 350 to 400 pages this summer.
Wow.
I didn't even realize it. I wrote 2 graphic novels. And I wrote 2 arcs for 2 different series that we've got coming, and River. I've been working on the next part of River. So as we're kickstarting this, I just finished writing the second part, issue 2, and I am dying to get this work out there. We are so proud of the incredible company that we have kept in these anthologies. And to be able to have our stories in there with all these incredible indie creators and writers and artists and all that. But there is also another thrill to saying, this is our joint. This is our jam. We did this. This is James and I, and Mark keeping us grounded. This is a baby of ours, and it's an ongoing story. It's going to be a mini series, but it's going to be a couple of issues, and you're going to get to go through those chapters and look forward to the next one. And I'm so excited that we're doing that. And as we're doing that, James is drawing our next one, the first issue of our next series. So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming that's going to be just us. But we're not abandoning the anthologies either, because we love having everyone play in our playground.
Right.
Well, go ahead, Lauren.
I was just going to ask, so people have been, reading you guys from the beginning. So what can they expect to be similar and dissimilar with this current project?
Well, similar is that it's batshit like everything that we make. It's completely out there. It is, because it's long form. it's a completely different beat structure than a short, right? Where the short, you got to do the, it's like telling a joke, right? We've got the setup and the punchline kind of thing. And there's a whole different way to craft a short. With this, I had to write way ahead and then go back and re-edit the first issue because things come out. I write in chaos. There's some people that are plotters, they say. They're plotters and they're pantsers. Plotters, they lay all the storyboards out, they outline everything before they ever start writing. I sit down and I'm like, Bob went to the store. What's going to happen to Bob? I don't know. And I write in utter chaos. I'm a pantser, fly by the seat of my pants. So I just finished a 5-issue arc for our next series, which is Stripper Clip Sally. And
that's the name?
James, Stripper Clip Sally.
I need to know, like, what is this?
What does Sally do for a living?
Stripper Clip Sally. I'm just picturing a stripper, and she's got like magazine clips around like her legs and thighs and stuff. Like,
so you're a fan?
Yeah.
Oh, so actually, fun fact. Yes, I've been reading it for years now. Sorry, guys. I am your second follower.
Woo! Stripper versus alien invasion.
All right, say less.
And
I'm absolutely
yes,
in.
he is an expert marksman, weapon expert, and prefers to use a stripper clip because that was exactly right for the name.
Have you ever seen the film Frankenhooker before?
Maybe years ago.
You did.
Okay,
I
think
did.
that's
You did.
So
You drank that one away.
Yes,
we did.
it is very B, very, oh man, Lauren would probably hate it, but it's like my wife's one of her favorite movies, and we've watched it. So that's like instantly where my mind goes is something like that, which Stripper versus Alien. Come on, like that is so metal right there.
I recommend
love
Vampire Sorority Babes and the Slime Ball Bolorama.
Is that no? Virginia
real
is
movie.
restricting access on certain sites. Is this one I can find on like?
I have no idea. I saw it on USA Up All Night years ago. It's worth saying too that River actually started as a small project, and Christian showed his friends, including me, and just said, "Hey, look at this thing I'm putting together with James." I hadn't even met James yet, and we all loved it, and we were just like, "Okay, what next?" And he was like, "No, that's it."
He's like, "What do you mean? What next? Like this?
Yeah, this is the thing.
This is my magnum opus. I didn't really have it.
Yeah, no, we need more. And so that's how good this is. I mean, like right off the bat, we were hooked.
I had an angry, alcohol-fueled dark night of the soul that day. I was sitting in my living room watching a movie, paying no attention to it, cursing. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's a Twilight. What more do they want? You know what? Fuck it. They want more? I'll get them more. And at 2 a.m, drunk, I sat down and wrote 2 more chapters. I emailed them to James. I said, don't ever mention this to me again if these suck. We'll both pretend I never sent these. I wrote them in a fugue state. And the next day he emails me and he's like, dude, these are really good. We can do this. And the story just grew. So what was that first chapter or piece, rather that short became the first chapter. To give you a little spoiler, these cops are going to end up in the ancient Aztec world.
Oh, well, they are time traveling through space and time, so that sounds pretty awesome.
Completely wild.
I wouldn't want to end up in the Aztec world.
It's like Bill and Ted meets, Police Academy. I don't know. Like this sounds kind of
your
awesome.
head. No, they'll rip your heart right out.
I got to throw in too. I mean, in the hands of another artist, I don't know if it would have worked. This had James's name written all over it. His art in this. I mean, I would say he outdid himself, but he always brings it, and this is no exception. It's really great.
I will very much co-sign this in that whenever we get something from Christian and James, you automatically know that, like, I don't know what it is. You guys, 2 separate beings. However, as soon as you come together to collaborate on anything, it's like you just fuse into one, and you are so symbiotic almost in the way that Venom and Eddie Brock are one, in the fact only you're not out there eating heads.
Excellent.
We are Venom.
You're absolutely just like in sync to the point where it's incredible because James's art, you're right. I don't know that somebody else would be able to write the type of or do art for the type of stories that Christian comes up with, because they are the easiest way I can describe it is just they are metal. You know, they are badass. They get gruesome. They get out there. And I think one of the things that James does really well is he captures that perfectly. And somehow I call, you know, there's always, you're going to meet that one person in life that you just click with. And I think as far as creativity goes, what you guys have it's right there, man. It really is. It's like Pippen and Jordan.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Matt.
James called me the other day and called me out on something in my script. Something that was so juvenile and dumb. I had the character do something that would never work. And he's like, dude, this doesn't happen. I said, I thought that. And on the phone, in 10 minutes, we had reimagined the sequence, putting clues earlier for what was going to happen. We go, hey, do you have room in panel 2 for a truck with blah, blah, blah? Do you have room for this? Okay, what if we do this? Hey, well, I was thinking the same thing. You talk about us being melded. In 10 minutes, we solved. This was an error that eliminated the climax of issue 1. Like, I was dumb with what I wrote in there. And we, in 10 minutes, we were laughing. We immediately had something better that cracked us up. And James, within 5 minutes after that, had drawn it. And so, yes, there is something amazing there.
Thank you for catching.
There really is something there. Real quick, Lauren, Bruno's got to know what you're drinking because they were late. What you got in the glass, real quick? Because I even forgot what you said because I was working on our technical difficulties over here. Like, check out this nerd.
It is a fantastic double IPA from Interstellar Bonanza, or called Interstellar Bonanza. It's from Three Floyds and War Pigs. So you can't go wrong. This is a birthday gift from the parents. It's delicious.
Birthday gift from the parents. Is Matthew McConaughey in the can? I should have asked that earlier, but haha, jokes 10 days late. From Interstellar. He's in Interstellar, remember?
Oh, there's a lot of cool stuff.
All right, anyways, Lauren's off. Get her out of here. She doesn't
No, but it kind of looks like you have like zombie-esque crazy versions of like Galactus and like I almost feel like this dude has
that's
like
the theme for the
Captain
comic
America thing on his
talking
hat.
tonight.
There's
yeah,
a
I
lot
can see
going on.
Galactus on there.
Yeah, doesn't that look like him?
helmet.
Yeah. He's roasting a pig. And this is like the dude from He-Man.
Skeletor?
Yeah,
Oh
Skeletor.
my gosh. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends.
I thought that was a Mjolnir for a second, but I think it's a Crunk Cup, so.
That is a cool,
Even better.
design.
Yeah. I want to say fully fat.
Going back to the comic, you guys obviously are working on multiple things at one time. So I got to, like, my ADHD brain, I can do that. Does that ever get kind of difficult for you guys in the process? Like, hey, whoa, like, Christian, I need you to calm down for a second. I'm still working on this. Or James, is that kind of like, hey, it allows me to kind of breathe for a second because now I'm working on different art pieces and maybe you pull something from another thing, such as, our wonderful stripper clip.
Yeah, it's always good to have different things to be working on. Christian works, he does a lot of writing and so forth. So we have a lot of backup issues because I can't draw as fast as he writes. But, it's good to be able to get to the point where we're, like I said, we're very proud to be kind of doing a couple of our own stories. And it's good to be able to trade off. And I also do some other work for cons and so forth, sort of like fan art and stuff. So I've been working on some of that as well.
James, do you have the Rogue available? Savage Island?
Yeah, she's right here on the wall.
Oh, we got a Rogue Savage Island.
Holy crap.
Okay.
It's not on camera.
Oh, what a piece this is.
So this is one you specifically drew. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Okay. Is that the one and only that you've drawn? Is this something somebody
Yeah,
can buy or
drawn and painted? This one's like more acrylics and paint.
Oh, wow. That is, again, folks, like I need to just a testament to what James can do. If you're watching this specifically on YouTube, like when I say that this man has talent, this is just a snippet of what you're getting when you're opening up one of the Fugitive Poem comics, or you're going to a Comic-Con and you're finding their booth and like, hey, I want some original art. That's but a small footprint of what you're getting. Cause it is, insanely talented. And so speaking of Comic-Cons, I know Terrificon in Connecticut just wrapped up not like last weekend. Have you guys, what kind of Comic-Cons have you been making the rounds to lately?
Normally we do Terrificon, but he moved it this year. Thank the Lord he moved it again for next year. The most expensive week of my year. The 17th is my little sister Sabina's birthday.
Okay.
The 18th is her little son Declan's birthday and my mother's birthday. And the 19th is my wife's birthday.
You know, can you guys stop having birthdays so we can go to Comic-Con? What the hell, man? Selfish.
When I said to my wife, I'm like,
MegaCon.
I looked at my wife, I'm like, so I mean, if I missed 2 of the days, man, the look I got took years off my life. So we could not do Terrific.
I mean, to be fair, you've been around for plenty of their birthday. Like, what's
really?
Oh.
That's speaking of MegaCon, my wife's birthday is that Sunday, so I'll let you know how well that works.
Yeah. Where is MegaCon?
Orlando.
Oh,
great time. Are you guys?
It happens to be on Super Bowl Sunday too, so I'm very curious.
Super Bowl Sunday and my wife's
Sunday's
birthday, but obviously my wife's birthday is more important, right? Than Super Bowl Sunday.
The Super Bowl Sunday,
unless the Green Bay
watch
Packers
them drop like some huge mega guests, so people are so conflicted and not know what to do.
Oh, they're bringing Chris Hemsworth or something. I don't know.
Right. during the game.
Ryan Reynolds is going to be here during Super Bowl Sunday, but then
Deadpool
even Ryan Reynolds is going to leave
in person in MegaCon.
I know one man who could beat you Super Bowl Sunday. It is Hugh Jacked Man. But that reminds me. So Lauren and I are in the process. Lauren's for sure going to New York City Comic Con. I am 75% there, waiting on a couple things to hopefully fall into place. Like, if, hey God, me again. So are you guys going to be up in the New York City area for New York City Comic Con? Do you have any Comic Cons planned for the rest of this year at all?
We have a really cool one coming up called Blood and Ink. In Westchester County, New York. It's a tattoo and horror convention.
Oh, that's
tattoo and horror. Okay, first of all, like, James, I would get one of your original pieces tattooed on my body. First of all, like, that's exactly what you need to go there for, because I need to get my thighs need to get done, and I need to finish this arm, and I really want a monster. What? I got my leg sleeve. I need to go up on the thighs. I'd be wearing my shorts. Like, look at these pasty white legs.
I was like, do you ever wear shorts that are short enough that would show your thighs?
You want to see what I'm
Or is it just
right
for
now?
Carrie? Uh-oh, here we go.
These bad boys need some color on them, okay? But I do want
any models for your stripper comic, or the art's already done?
I do want a monster hot dog. I've got a space I'm saving because I love hot dogs. I want like a monster hot dog right there. That's the next one I'm getting.
That's funny. I had an idea for a hot dog illustration.
Oh, you got to send that to him.
I was listening to Hot Dog by Led Zeppelin. I was like, oh, this would make a cool little
I love hot dogs.
Like dancing hot dogs.
I
Like,
have wanted like a monster hot dog. Like, it's like if Godzilla was destroying Tokyo, but it's a hot dog. That's what I want to get tattooed on my body, because clearly, you know, I don't take life seriously. I've got Dunkin' Donuts tattooed. I've got Bluey. Like, come on, guys, life is fun. So that's my next tattoo. Hold on.
Bluey is serious shit.
Bluey is very okay. That moving episode of Bluey. Geez, if you're a parent like me who's moved
so many times, gosh,
my daughter only wants to watch that episode.
Because
you haven't moved.
They didn't move.
That's the only thing I hate about that. I wish that they had moved.
The only issue I had.
It was perfect.
No, because in the end, the kids got what they wanted, and they didn't learn that, like,
the sign out of the ground.
Yeah,
what?
that was. I felt that.
Oh yeah, they took the sign out of the ground. That was
like, as somebody who has moved multiple times, like, I kind of wish they had moved, because I could teach my kids, like, you don't always get what you want, because I know you don't want to move. But you have to.
It'll be hard, but it'll be okay. Instead, they're like, you know what, kids, screw it. Your decisions are more important than ours.
If your aunt and uncle are about to not get married, then that means you don't actually have to sell your house and move.
I did enjoy the line where they say something like, "Oh yeah, me and your aunt used to come up here all the time, and what did you do? Just
eat
enjoy
sandwiches."
The view."
Just to think, yeah.
That's how I met your mother.
To think. But going back, hold on. I got to know more about this tattoo and comic convention, because that's actually something I've not seen. Like, typically at a Comic-Con, they do tattoos, but like, I need to know some details behind this. Is it like tattoos all over the place, more than just like a little tattoo alley, or like I got to know more.
So it's 2 floors, maybe 3, and the entire downstairs is dedicated to tattoos.
Oh,
and they'll be doing them there and whatnot. And then the floor above is all for horror vendors.
That's
Ooh.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. So is
I'm
there
really
any big
excited
like
about it.
horror guests that are coming to this?
I believe that, I don't know offhand, but there are.
I can always look it up and put the show notes. So that's rad. So like you guys are obviously going to be there promoting River. What kind of stuff are you guys bringing to the con aside from River? Are you bringing the whole collection?
Yeah, containment breaches and all of our stuff. Though actually, we containment breach volume 1 is gone. It is sold out and retired.
Congrats.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wow.
Containment breach volume 2. There are very few copies of the first edition left.
Okay.
And then and 3 and 4 have been selling like hotcakes as well. But if you come see us, you should make sure to back River, and also make sure that to get volume 2, Myth Reborn of Containment Breach, because you'll be one of the last to get the first printing.
That is, oh yeah, that's in James. Are you going to be drawing some original arts up at the booth at that
I was
time
just
too?
going to
Then
say, I got something else that I can show you guys. It fits right in, especially if we're going to be talking about Alien Romulus.
oh yeah, I got to give my spoiler-free
I
thoughts
got
because you
one
guys
time
haven't
in
seen it.
case,
But I do.
so give me a second, and I'll come back.
All
up
right.
with it.
Well, while James is going down there and
I'm
doing
gonna grab
that
a beer as well.
and
Give
grabbing
me a beer, James.
Yeah.
get us all a beer. We need refreshed. But no, like
James
so.
just
Okay,
gonna
so
show up out of nowhere behind Christian and Mark.
Yeah, that would
That'd
be.
that's a jump scare.
My
Like
apprentice, Darth
he leaves
Maul.
the room, they're sitting in the dark, and then
I mean, it looks very possible from where I'm
your
sitting.
rogue dead guy ale, and then in like a horror movie, it's like snap neck, and there you go. Like,
I mean,
Yeah,
Simi, you guys are outside, right?
No, we're in his office. He's just got it lit, like James usually has his office lit. James,
very-
Oh, there you are. I really thought y'all were like chilling in the backyard.
no, I'd be smoking a cigar then.
I was gonna say cigar, and then you would need a fire pit going because that
Yeah.
said,
Oh yeah.
is it now? Are you guys getting some of this false fall weather like I'm getting in Virginia? Because it
Yes.
has felt. Oh my
Yes.
god,
Yes, we are.
this is what can I say, man? This is bonfire weather right here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still in the
James and
80s,
I last
90s.
night.
Glorious.
James stayed over my place last night, and we drank entirely too many beers and stayed
wish
up
my
till
wife
4
would
in the
let me have
morning
sleepovers,
around the
man.
fire pit, burning
Nothing.
boxes when we were finally out of wood.
You get down to that point in the bonfire that everybody knows, especially the fall ones, and you're just finding whatever you can find at that point.
What can
There's
I put in here?
dead leaves, your high school graduation diploma, all of that kind of stuff.
I
You know
mean,
what?
do you
Yes, I
even
am.
need
I
your
am the man, the
college
myth,
one
the
at this
legend.
point?
What's up?
No.
No, are we on?
No, it's
Facebook?
useless.
I
We are.
don't even
I
have
got
my
Facebook
degree
right
hung.
now.
I have them all like in the back of my closet. And I'm like, I should use these frames for something else.
You know, I did apply for my master's of marketing at Boston University. So fingers crossed, because I'm from Massachusetts, and my hope is that this will be my final work of school. And then once I get that, I can go work for comic conventions or maybe the NFL, who knows? And getting to walk into graduation in Massachusetts is kind of cool. But aside from that, River, let's go back to River, because that's what we are here for. What are some maybe things that people might, so we're expecting basically space and time cop horror. What is something we're going to get in this comic book that maybe might throw people off a little bit without spoiling anything big?
Comedy. We've got a dark sense of humor. So the worse things get, the more opportunities there are for gags in there. There is a dead body that is a recurring joke in the series. So I don't know how else to explain who I am as a writer than to say there's a dead body that's a recurring joke in my series.
I mean, anybody
that's
knows
Weekend
me.
at Bernie's. The whole movie is about a dead
right?
body.
That's true. That's true.
It is. I'm very big into the dark humor. Anybody knows me. I kind of cross the line a lot of times. I made a joke. I was like, pumpkin spice is the only thing keeping me from suicide right now. And somebody's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Dude, yeah, I'm just kidding around. It's from Deadpool and Wolverine, man." But hey, you know what, James? We have expected you to actually show up behind those two in the office. So the fact that you didn't, I'm a little disappointed.
Next time.
Okay. Next time.
What you need to do is you need to take a picture of your background, then make it like a false background, so you can actually be close to them and then sneak up on them.
Or we'll get a cardboard cutout and just bring it up. And
yes.
All right.
This artwork, lay it on us. I'm giving you a solo for this one.
I plan on doing probably 4 to 5 pieces for this horror con. specifically like new stuff. I always been a fan of horror themed stuff, and as you will see, I'm also a dedicated Ridley Scott fan. So
Oh yeah.
I grew up with Aliens, and I've been working on a piece there.
Oh
Still a
my.
work,
Oh
still a
wow,
work in progress.
Holy shit.
That's
so
amazing.
pretty.
That is look,
There's
if
so
I
much going on there.
this is
Shading alone is
badass. The
impressive,
shading
yeah.
alone is awesome. You got the xenomorph, you got obviously our heroine in her suit. Dang, that is badass right there. That is amazing. Dang, that's just one of the pieces you're bringing. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I'll have the original there, and I just figured out. Let me show you. I got like some of the.
Oh yeah,
down.
the pods down there that bore our face huggers, if you will, for anybody who's not familiar with the Alien universe. Her suit kind of has like a spine going up the front. That kind of reminds me of like the Alien spines. Is that kind of intentional?
Yeah. So it sort of harkens back to Ellen Ripley Ripley's suit, but obviously it's a bit more sexy.
Yeah.
A bit more form fitting than what she was wearing. But
Okay, you
yeah,
can tell us
so-
it's actually the cover for Stripper Clip.
now, I'm going to show you a stripper clip too. I got a recent rendering of her. Don't worry, she's
Woohoo.
dead.
That is seriously like that's such a good nod. The xenomorph, the head, like that is really badass. Cannot
Yeah,
state
so
this
that-
enough.
I'll have originals there, and as I was going to say, I finally figured out how to get my large format printer going. So I'm going to have some prints of that as well. Good friend of mine donated an older photo printer, and for a while they didn't have ink available for it, but now there's some Chinese
Back in
company
business.
making cartridges for it. So I'll be making up prints of all the
Oh.
horror related stuff as well.
Oh, what are we bringing up here? What is this beloved artwork? Is this from our river right here? What do we got here? Talk to
no
us,
river
Mark.
stuff.
Idenhood.
Not just yet, but this is a little excerpt from Christian and
Ah,
James's
yes.
story.
Oh,
in
I have that
Containment
one.
in Volume 4.
Yes.
Lauren does, yes.
Just to give you a kind of an idea of what you can expect
Sorry.
from it.
Do you
That's
have
our
the
werewolf.
link to the River Kickstarter? Because we've
I
got
do.
art
It's
on
on
there.
the bottom here. Shout out to my boy Keenan real quick. He's big into comics. I think this might be one he wanted to
Keenan.
check out. Samus vibes.
Samus
yes.
vibes. Yes.
That's what I got
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
But yeah, I do. It's across the bottom. So kickstarter.com and then basically /projects/fugitive poems /river. That's where you can find it. But if you just Google River Fugitive Poems Kickstarter, that's going to pop up. The link
And it-
also, when I do put this on audio only for anybody who hasn't checked this, the link's going to be in the bio. But it is, I'm going to go back also and add it into the link of the live episode once it's cemented and our legacy is cemented up there. But dude, kickstarter.com/fugitive poems. That's where you're going to find Containment Breach, the anthologies. That's where you're going to find River, all of the things that you guys are doing there.
If you go
Cannot
to River,
miss.
I've got Kickstarter just started allowing you to put more than one image up on your pre-launch page. So if you go to the River pre-launch page, you can see the first page of the comic and a couple of other incredible images that James did.
All right, folks, I'm going to do what's called a pro gamer move here in just a second. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up, if you will. I'm going to pull up the Kickstarter page. So bear with me one moment. As I do that. Yeah, you know what? No big deal. Sometimes I get real technical with it, Lauren, except for the fact that when I first brought this up, these things are stupid. But let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen with everybody. Oh, no, don't look at that. Don't look at that. You can't see that. Boom. Right here, as you can see, is the River Kickstarter page. There we have that. But like I said, we've already talked about it. Facing wormholes, black holes, and one multiplying asshole. 6 Pennsylvania cops hurtle through space and time on a mission. Only one of them kind of understands. And then this is a snippet of what I was talking about, James's artwork right here. Absolutely phenomenal stuff, right? You know, black and white. Is the whole thing in black and white? Are we going to get some color? What can you guys talk about the artwork side of things? 'Cause
We're
I know
doing
this
the black and white and red thing.
Oh,
Ah,
gosh.
that's so hot right now.
It is. If
I was
you know
reading
Marvel
Darth Maul,
comics,
black, white, and red yesterday.
we just talked
I gotta get that one.
Alien.
The Darth Vader was amazing.
Darth Vader was great. Alien Black, White, and Blood is just as good. And I know this also says issue 1 of a miniseries. How many issues can we kind of expect from this issue or this series, I should say?
So I believe it's going to be between 3 and 4. But these things, as I write them, they build. I know the whole arc. I know where the story ends. James knows where the story ends. How trippy is that? That's the kids actually having the river trip. They're taking
the melted face sideways is really, really good.
To old James. All I got to do is write tripping bulls, and he takes care of the rest.
James is like, hold on, let me go out to the backyard, spend an hour in the woods. I'll be back.
Oh, I got plenty of experience with that.
I was gonna say he just has to recall from memory.
He's
Good
like,
draw,
"God,
Tom."
that one time when I was 16 years old, best summer of my life. And he just kind of goes crazy. Yeah, the artwork is amazing. I also really like the black, white, and red in this case thing, because it also leaves a lot to imagination, which in my opinion builds upon the horror. So what was that discussion like when you guys decided to go the black, white, and red?
I think it was it just sort of started out that way. I mean, I always work, as you saw with the Alien piece, I'm just starting to add some color in there. So I usually start off with they call it tones and so forth, as opposed to colors. So that's usually how I work anyways. And then we kind of really dug the way it looks because of the subject matter and so forth. And we had a eventual bringing in of the blood in what we were calling episode 2, but now it's all part of like the first series that we're doing. I started bringing color in with the blood, so that's how we came up with that. And we haven't decided whether or not we're going to trip it over into color or not. I think the black and white gives it a certain kind of feel. Have you guys ever watched? I'm sure you guys have seen Fury Road, right? Mad Max.
Yes, I've and then actually. Oh, Lauren, this reminds me. I left off. I just watched Furiosa as well.
Oh,
yeah,
so did James.
I watched that as well.
How did you like Furiosa? I actually liked Furiosa. We'll get to that in a second. Go ahead with what you were actually going to say, because Mad Max kind of gives that vibe. Yes.
Right. When I bought Mad Max Fury Road, they actually have, they call it the chrome and black edition.
Oh yeah, a lot of movies now are kind of giving us the black and white version.
Yeah, and it's really cool. I mean, I'm madly in love with Fury Road, and I've watched it a bunch of times. It's really cool to kind of see it in that different light. And you can't just click off and desaturate off. You got to do all this kind of manipulating and stuff of the imagery for it to work in black and white. So it's a really cool, different experience. That one I bought on my Apple account. So it comes with I think it's a special edition or something.
Yeah,
comes with black and chrome. And I think I saw it somewhere streaming as well recently.
They just did Godzilla -1 just came on Netflix in the black and white version, which Godzilla -1, it fucks. It really does. It's such a good movie. But I did just watch Furiosa. So as somebody who Mad Max, I'm like, this is a good movie. What do you think of Furiosa? Because it's a prequel that kind of ends off where Mad Max picks up. So what were your thoughts on Furiosa?
I was it's definitely worth watching. I was a little let down after Fury Road. I mean, that to me was a masterpiece. I'm also, a big fan of George Miller, just like the Alien series. I grew up watching Road Warrior, and I was just the right age kid for when I mean, I love all the movies, but that when the second movie came out,
Road Warrior is perfect.
I was like 13 years old, and I soaked all that up. So I really dug the Fury Road, and I'm a big fan of Charlize Theron too. She's
same
amazing.
She's such a badass action hero. She used to be in more serious movies, but I think since she kind of went to Fast and Furious, Mad Max, people and Atomic Blonde, even
I can't
People
wait to see her
really-
in the MCU.
Well, she maybe the MCU likes to introduce characters and forget about them now, but she's a
she-
really badass action chick, man. She's dope.
What was the? Oh, she did Eon Flux too.
Yes, she did. Yep, that
Yeah.
one too.
She
Yeah,
did that
she's.
cameo in The Boys was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that's right. She
But
was. Yeah,
she has so much range. I think the craziest movie that she did was that true story about the serial killer.
Monster.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. That's what I'm
And
saying.
the way
Like,
she
Lord
trans-
knows.
With
I mean, she's
Christina
like
Ricci.
Robert De Niro. The way she transforms herself, like
Mhm.
she was unrecognizable. I mean,
Right.
she's, to me, in my opinion,
She's
absolutely
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
The way she transformed herself.
and she
I-
really
I'm-
takes it seriously too.
I'm still
Yeah.
obsessed with her first movie, 2 Days in the Valley, which was
Wow.
her introduction.
I've never seen
That
that
was a
one.
great little neo-noir with an incredible cast. And I remember watching that movie, going to see it for all the great stars that were in it. And then she walked out, and I'm like, what?
Who the hell?
Who is that?
I feel like we don't even get necessarily a lot of that in films as much these days. Like you kind of do. Like I think like Glenn Powell, you kind of get like from him some of that, but I feel overall we kind of don't really get a lot of that in film a lot anymore.
Everyone keeps talking about Glenn Powell.
It's out of
I need to
vogue.
like watch a movie.
I
that
love
he's
Glenn
in
Powell,
that
man. I watched
awesome.
Twisters. Twisters is awesome. I
How
bought
was
that's the-
Twisters? I want to see
dude.
it.
Twisters is the first movie I legitimately have bought on digital like ever. And like,
Really?
buying a movie for me is big these days because I have a Plex account. Okay. And so I bought Twisters. That movie rocks.
Oh, I want to see it.
It's okay. So I have a couple nitpicks, but Twisters overall is such a fun movie and it makes sense in the modern day world where Glenn Powell is essentially like this YouTuber that chases tornadoes. As you see
Ah.
now, like that's the way of the future. And then there's a girl, Daisy Edgar Jones. She's all about seriousness, but like it's just such a fun movie. The CGI is great. The only complaint I have is it's missing Philip Seymour Hoffman because he made the first Twisters. Dusty was the man, but yeah, dude, Twisters.
The first
Twisters
Twister
was awesome.
he was so good in that.
Seriously,
He was so good in that.
but I will agree with you, James, that Furiosa, like I liked it. I liked Chris Hemsworth a lot in it. He's really goofy. I thought Anya Taylor-Joy was all right. She didn't have that presence that Charlize has, of course.
Yeah.
Like Charlize is just badass.
I think
but
that's her age. She's still so young. You know?
Well, she
Not
is.
really-
I think a
she
lot of
hasn't
it's
really
that.
matured as an actor yet.
And then you see her against like next to some of these actors and like she's really tiny, which is it doesn't take me out of the movie, but you're like, oh yeah, like she is really small compared. And
Yeah.
it's still beautifully shot, like a lot of the practical effects. I'm a big practical effects sucker, which is what Alien Romulus really leaned into.
Oh, I'm dying to see it.
Not going to spoil that movie. If you want spoiled, go to the YouTube page. I did a spoiler filled review, but just know that like this movie takes things back to the original slow burn body horror film that Alien and Aliens gave us. It is,
Oh, that's great.
It is so good. But we have a question about the comic River. My boy Keenan again. He asks because it rubs him the right way. You all said it's 6 Pennsylvania cops in your book. How did you
Yes.
land on a team of 6? What was the inspiration for the 6 cops?
Okay, that's a great question. I mentioned earlier that I write in chaos. I decided that it'd be really interesting to have some heavy-duty futuristic machinery sci-fi take place in Pennsylvania Dutch country. And that really is sort of what really spawned it on. And the number of cops came from who survived the first few pages, because a couple of people get wiped out right off the bat. And it's the 6 of them that end up confronting what turns out to be this time machine. So that's 6 Lancaster cops. And I didn't want to get, sorry, just do it. There it is. Perfect. I love that sound. I didn't want to get in the weeds with the physics because I am a science nerd and I'm the worst kind of science nerd. I don't understand math. So
God, I can relate. I don't know math.
Math is hard.
I really get into theoretical physics and they're like, oh, you get it? Here's the math behind it. I'm like, boom, nothing. So I read a lot of Carlo Rovelli and Richard Feynman. I read a lot of physics stuff. And what I did was I took all of these concepts and I put it into the book. River works on some real Richard Gottman's Time Travel in Einstein's Universe was essential to coming up with River. It's a great book that I understand half of, maybe a third. And there's real science behind River and the possibility of time travel. And then it's all drugged out and fictionalized in weird ways. So those 6 cops, they're the ones that make it to the machine, and this adventure ensues. So that's how we came up with them. And they're in Lancaster because the Amish are watching. And what would the Amish think of all this? The building appears in the middle of their fields out of nowhere, and they're part of the plot as well.
That's really, really interesting. You're right. The Amish, like when you said Pennsylvania Dutch country, I was like, Christian, come on, dude, let's be serious. It's Amish country out there. They're churning butter. They don't know what electricity is. They don't know what any of this is. So you're going to drop them out there, and now they're in some time stream. Like, come on.
And that's what I wanted. What I love about these 6 cops is that they're just cops. They don't know science. They're not guys that there's no one in this story, and this is something that drives me nuts about so much fiction, is that there's always one person that understands exactly what's happening and can explain it. No, I wanted to write a story that was nonstop action, and nobody knows what the fuck is happening to them.
Bunch of guys with donuts, like, what the frig is this?
Yeah, and at one point, she in the second issue, one of the cops is like, she goes, I think that he did blah, blah, blah. And it drops the scientific term. And he's like, well, what does that mean? She goes, I don't know. I saw it on the Discovery Channel. So it's not, nothing to do with, and the other guy's like, with the little people? She's like, yeah.
But that's more realistic than having somebody, like
explain
Doctor
math,
Who explaining things that nobody actually
it's
understands.
timey-wimey, man.
Yeah.
No.
And there's never going to be an explanation as to what happened.
He built himself an off-ramp.
You're going to get the story. There's not going to be it's not like a think piece where you're like, oh, I didn't get it. What happened? No, you're going to know what happened. But the science behind it, none of them know. Nobody knows. The time god doesn't know. It just happened.
Okay.
I don't even know that Christian knows. He's just like, you know what? Talk to me after I've had about 6 more beers tonight. And maybe James is like, yeah, so I got an email last night with another script. And now we know how it's there.
I'll tell you what happened.
Listen, he's standing and, poor Mark and Christian's kids are like, guys, like, I know it's a sleepover and typically we'd stay up all night, but go the fuck to sleep for God's sakes.
You're not supposed to be part of this.
Keenan says that he does like that you all had your own reasons as opposed to purposely not locking into the cliche team size for the sake of being different. Sounds like 6 may not survive long after the machine, but he does dig it. So honestly, I dig it too. And if anybody digs it, kickstarter.com/fugitive poems. That's where you can find it. Back the book. Containment breach. You might fall in love with a lot of that.
Hit notify me on launch. Let's get those numbers high. This book goes on sale on Kickstarter on September 3rd. Tuesday, September 3rd, if I've got my dates right.
That's 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks. It's like a week and a half at this point because we are just about into September.
God, it's almost September.
Yep.
About that time.
We should also mention Matt briefly showed it, but there's a bunch of artwork up on that pre-launch page too, so you can see more of it in detail.
Yeah, get to the pre-launch. There's a bunch of you guys always rock when it comes to showing people what they're getting, telling people what they're getting. So what are some of the things that people are going to be looking to get when they do launch the Kickstarter? I know you guys have a lot of fun stuff typically, but what are some of the perks that when they back it, they're going to look forward to?
We've got one of the things, because we are so proud of the Containment Breach series, is that they're going to be limited rewards where you can pair River with one of the Containment Breach books. Like I said, very few of the volume 2s, but they'll be there and you can pair them and you can choose one to pair it with. But we're also doing what's become one of our most popular rewards, and that's the cameo. To get a cameo in our comic, we actually one of the villains in Stripper Clip Sally is someone who paid for a cameo and got lucky when my brain clicked into a story idea. So he's actually threw out the book. And then we've got a couple other people. So you can have a cameo in River, which, depending on what part of time you end up in, could be really fascinating, and you'll most probably die. So
Hell yeah, I want to be the dead body that just keeps reoccurring.
Yeah, Bob.
That's my dream in anything. My dream in life is to just be in a horror movie and I get killed in some gruesome way. For whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but
Why
that's
else
the
would you be in a
dream.
horror movie?
Exactly. I don't want to live. No, kill me in the most outrageous manner.
I want to be the one
possible.
who like runs away and doesn't run upstairs and calls the cops.
Lauren
right away. I want to
trips
be the
and she's
smart
like-
one.
The
I'm not going to trip. I'm going to watch where I'm running.
the one person
Smart
that
one
gets
always
whacked-
dies, though. You got to remember,
Oh yeah, they die first because
Yeah,
they're too cocky.
Lauren.
That's true.
They have their own rating system for who survives and who
that-
doesn't.
There was
That's
a thing
true.
going on, like I saw a few TikToks last year where they had like somebody dressed as the Scream mask, and different people would run up and try to unlock the doors, and like your adrenaline's going so much they fumble. And most
Oh,
of
I
them
did
get
see that
murdered.
amongst
I
the
kind of want to
other-
try that and see if I can do it.
Okay, we could
I'd
do
probably
that.
be dead right away, honestly.
Yeah.
Listen, me, I'm just like, I'm not even running the door. I'm gonna fight. If it's like, depends what monster we're talking about here. If it's Jeepers Creepers, I'm dead, dude.
Oh,
I'm
Jeepers
so
Creepers! I'm
dead.
just hiding. I'm just gonna cry until it
I'm
murders
frozen.
me.
If it's
That's my
Ghostface, I'm
one- that's my
punting
safe word
Ghostface to
scary
the moon
movie.
because Ghostface takes hits in those movies. All right. And somehow,
Yeah, I
Ghostface
could go
will
up
find
against
me.
Ghostface. This Jeepers Creepers, I was traumatized.
I
by that.
can't run, so running's not an option.
This
I-
is
I can
why
run, but
I
not
literally
fast.
run 3 miles a day. Lauren sees. See, I just got to outrun Lauren because she sees how fast I run. So
I'm really slow. I'm like 13-minute miles.
I can get moving, but as we do start to kind of wrap up here, boys, I want to start with James. Let people know where they can find you. Maybe can they purchase some original art? Do you have a store specifically to yourself, and what they can look forward to from you specifically?
Like I said, I'm working on the print thing. I've been trying to figure out a way to make those profitable and kind of worth my time. So I will
Guarantee
be
you at
getting,
Comic Cons, people eat those up. Guaranteed.
yeah. So I actually saw a lot of originals at Comic Con. It's funny you were talking about a tattoo for your thigh. I had someone buy one of my artworks and she was going to have it put on her thigh.
See?
We had a like kind of monster elephant character that she liked, and she was thinking about getting a tattoo. She said she was going to send me it when she got it done. So I have a portfolio, Jamlines, .myportfolio.com. That's basically based around the Adobe world and Behance. We do have most of the stuff that is for sale is up on fugitivepoems.com. We do have some posters of my work, some covers and so forth. And like I said, any originals that you like, you can always come and see me. I put pretty much everything up for sale at the cons, but also you can, if you see something that you like on, I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I'm kind of more of an Instagram guy than the
It's a place
Facebook.
to show your art, man. Like that's where you get going. People
Yeah.
can see pictures.
So any and everything you see on there, if you like anything, say, just hit me up and say, hey, let's make a deal, because I'm always up for selling my artwork. Let me, before we wrap up, here's without further
stripper
ado,
clip.
this is you guys got one exclusive. No one has seen that Aliens thing except for Christian and Mark before.
See, you come to
But now
house.
you're going to get a rendering. She's not still fully developed, but this is
Oh, she's developed already.
She looks like that stripper I fell in love with one time.
that's the latest rendering of Stripper Clip.
Wow.
I keep going around with styles. We've found quite a bit of comedy in Christian's script, so she might be a slight bit more cartoony, kind of like a.
Love it.
I'm a big fan of this guy called Aspiri. He's a Italian comic book artist. He did a lot of stuff for heavy metal, and I think he actually had some of his artwork in Playboy too. They did have a lot of comic strips and stuff in Playboy. So I've really been looking at a lot of his stuff as well, trying to figure out the different styles. Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff on the plate, and like Christian said, it's all stuff you've never seen before. I like to try to do things my my way. I don't like to copy stuff. I do fan art and so forth of the Marvel characters and so forth, but that's not really my thing. I want to bring out.
There's a
brand new
million
stuff.
Captain Americas out there, but there's really
Yeah.
only one unique like what you're doing right now, man. And that's what I really appreciate about the artwork that you draw.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of. I mentioned Heavy Metal magazine, and there's something very different every time you pick the magazine up. And I would love to see comics kind of get back in that direction as well. I mean, the indie comic world is out there, but a lot of it is sort of kind of rehashing the same ideas. I like to be, and Christian writes very original as well. So
He does. He does. Well, Christian, with that said, segue to you guys, you and Mark. Why don't you tell the good folks at home where they can find you guys, and also drop the dates for that con.
Well, okay, so let's talk about cons for a minute. That's where James sold that elephant design for the young lady there. That was at
Undiscovered Realms Con in
Oh,
Westchester County, New York.
Westchester County Center holds it over in White Plains. And we were also at the first annual Croton Con. I'm told that's going to be a new thing in Croton-on-Hudson, New York.
Yeah.
Basically, if there's a comic book convention anywhere in the Westchester area, we'll be there. So that's a place to find us. James will always have his original art there to sell. And then, of course, we also have copies of the books. And I'm not going to get into it, but we have some new projects and things coming down the line. And
you can buy, and you can go to fugitivepoems.com and get the anthologies, order them right there. I will ship them out to you. I'll draw a funny picture on it for you. You don't want my art, but that's what you're going to get. You want James's art, but when I ship out, it's my art.
He does a great Ninja Turtle.
I do a good Ninja Turtle.
He can't draw anything else.
Who doesn't love the Ninja Turtles, man?
Wait, which one? Which Ninja Turtle?
I can draw all.
How do they all look?
I don't know
It's
why.
a matter of a weapon.
No, they're
choice, so,
different.
That's
They
what
all
I'm saying.
have their own unique personalities.
All right.
Yeah, no, I don't know why. My drawing is horrendous, but I can draw Ninja Turtles.
It's like the old Eastman and Laird version, but like frankly, it's a little better than theirs.
I can't draw anything else.
Generic. They all wore red. No personalities yet.
Actually, the Undiscovered Realms Con that we went to, that was what was that? An anniversary of the Turtles, right? So it was all inspired.
Right.
Oh, the 40th? Yeah.
So I actually drew this there.
Oh, look at this.
This guy's showing off. Look at that. That's
I did that at the con, so I started from scratch on there, and then I kind of redid it on a larger paper when I got home. So I haven't even showed these guys the finished version.
No.
No.
We knew which one was which without the colors. Just saying.
That's awesome.
You're right. You're definitely right, Lauren.
That's beautiful.
God. I could. You know what? You're gonna make me go poor. I'm about to open up a second mortgage from all this artwork.
Yeah, I'm gonna have prints of this.
I will never financially recover.
And, that was a lot of fun. I hadn't really drawn a lot of Ninja Turtles before.
That is, and that's good as, oh my goodness. That is even, the chat's blowing up here on Facebook. For some reason, it's not popping up over here on the stream, but Keenan, he's blown away by it. Dudes, trust me. When you see these boys, man, visit their shop, because I promise you're going to get a lot of good stuff, and buy the comic books as well. Christian, where can people find you as we wrap up this week's version of Cantina Hour?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us. I am always happy to be here.
Family,
you guys. You and Lauren, you two are wonderful to hang out with. I'm around. No, you can find me at CDM-ETC. It's terrible, but I didn't know I was going to try and make a name for myself when I put it together. At CDM-ETC on Twitter/X, actually X. But more importantly, at Fugitive Poems on Twitter. And you can usually you can DM us there. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Go to fugitivepoems.com. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be totally honest here, no braggadocio. I am a terrific editor. When I need to be edited, I go to this guy.
And vice
Why,
versa.
I was about to say you're a terrific editor. How are you going to say that with this man, Mark, right here? Come on.
He's right though. He's
What's
had
wrong
great
with you?
suggestions for me over
If you need a comic editor, get in touch with Mark Capitelli here. We both do it. It's part of the Fugitive Poem services that we offer, is that we do editing for comics. But I'm telling you, you will have an incredible time working with Mark. So definitely reach out to us. Go to Kickstarter, look up Fugitive Poems River, click that notify me on launch, so that we can get our numbers way up there, and that this will be a big hit, because we think people are going to have a ridiculous. The goal is for you to have a ridiculous good time, a ridiculous, gory good time with River.
They say ridiculous. I say a wicked good time. And everything we have learned here, without a doubt, make sure you're visiting them. Get a good tattoo. Pick up some artwork. You know, if you're in the Westchester area, visit our boys here, because it's always a pleasure getting a chat with Kristen, James, and now, of course, Mark has, everything goes back to Fast and Furious, man. I told you, we're at the barbecue now. We're all family. That's why we get to hang out. As Lauren shakes her head. Nope, we're back. This is Fast and Furious. You guys can have whatever you like, as long as it's a comic book instead of a Corona. I'll give you that. All right. But make sure you guys go ahead, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell your grandma, tell your dogs. Hey, guess what? I'm leaving for the day. Oh, no, you're alone? Poor little puppy and kitty. Let me put on the wonderful world of Hops Geek News, where we are 232 episodes deep, folks. So you can have that bad boy playing all day for your animals to hear our delicious voices. I don't know why I said delicious, but there you go. That's what you get. And in Monday's episode, we have new episodes dropping on Mondays. I do have a couple other creator-owned or creator-specific episodes I need to drop. Work's been busy, so I apologize. But Monday, we are dropping our Gambit origin story, where we dive into the wonderful world of who is Gambit, why is Gambit, what is Gambit. And with that said, make sure, go ahead.
Who is Gambit's dialect coach?
And who exactly is Gambit's dialect coach? Was it the Minions? I don't know. All you got to do is subscribe to Hops Geek News. And then maybe you'll find out on Monday. Guys, sincerely, as always a pleasure getting to share a beer, share a drink with you, with the boys. Keenan, Micah, everybody in the chat, thank you guys for hanging out. We will see you next week. Cheers.